Hey, Alan, how you doing, man?
Hey Travis, I'm good.
Oh, good. How's St. Pete?
Rainy.
Yeah, it's cloudy here. So,
Yeah, it's rainy over here. This is like London, England.
really, wow. I wouldn't. I've only been to. I guess I was at England before for 2000 for the millennial. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, good deal. Have you given it much thought about your or oh, Justin's here. Good. Belleville's here. Have you given it much thought about your section about cheating?
Yeah, it'll be ready before the deadline.
Oh,
I'm
good.
uh I'm busy. I'm busy right now with another project and my vacation.
Oh, of course, of course. Yeah, if you get a chance to write anything and if you feel inspired and want to write anything in the group, that'd be great. Oh, here we
I
are.
will. I'll send you a page, maybe 2 or 3 pages on that.
Oh, that's cool. Great. Sounds wonderful. Justin is in his pantry. He's here to join us in his pantry.
Hey, you look like you're in your closet.
Hey Justin.
Hey,
Morning
Alan's here. So
or evening.
Anna said
Good
she
evening.
may come here, so I don't know. I'm not quite sure. So, and I invited Irina and I also invited Olga. Um, so Olga's attended one of the meetings. So, okay, so let's, we know each other. So I don't know if you guys have anything you want to share today, like Belleville, I kind of preemptively assigned you something to share. If you want to share anything outside of lying today.
Let me see.
Yeah, outside of
What
lying.
did you assign me to share? Let's see the picture.
I didn't share. I
The
didn't.
article by author of 5 minutes. Okay.
I just put.
I was just looking to see if there was something specific I missed.
No. I just said Belleville can talk about something. If you don't have anything to talk about, I could always talk.
Oh no. I've been reading. I started reading the Niet de Da,
Yeah.
which is it's a nice book. It's well written and it has there is kind of a business aspect to it, for business travelers and things like that. And so I think that's where we're a little bit different because, there's more of a general cultural interest. But there's a lot of good things in that book for sure.
Yeah, it's not as well organized as it could be, and it doesn't have any like breakout tables or anything like that. But you're right. Yeah, it's very well written. He's a godsend. So let's see here. Let me just share something that we can gnaw about. We could talk about here. Something that I shared in. Okay, here it is. Okay, let me share my screen and we'll share this section really quick. There's two sections that we can share. I could talk about Russians' distrust of government, or let's see, or Russians' rebellious spirit. Let's talk about Russians' rebellious spirit. So let's see if anybody else wants to read this. Otherwise, I can read it.
Yeah, please do. Well, I can't. I'm using a device here.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, so, I can see it pretty well.
You can see it pretty well. If you want to read it, or it's up to you if you want to open up WhatsApp or however you guys
I actually opened WhatsApp on my computer this morning. It took me a minute. Oh, let me see. I have to exit full screen here. Oh, hold on. I got to figure out how to get out of full screen on where I am now. Is it this one?
Okay. I'll just start reading while you get into WhatsApp. So you can probably press escape. So
I did have it. I just have to. Oh, okay, maybe it's just that.
Okay.
I'm just not used to it. There we go. And back to WhatsApp. You guys are schooling me on these. Here we go. Why don't Russians smile?
Trust me, it took me literally 3 years to understand WhatsApp as an American. Do they have WhatsApp in Canada very much, Alan?
Sorry?
Do they have WhatsApp very much in Canada?
The same thing all over the place.
Yeah, because they don't have it in America at all.
Oh, they have it, but mostly it's like.
But that's not true. I got a lot of buddies that communicate on WhatsApp from the U.S.
Yeah, the majority
it's-
of people
right.
don't do it. So is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just more like mostly the people that I know that use WhatsApp are foreigners. So I
Yeah.
mean,
So
we have WhatsApp here. It's just that that's the first thing that, like when we had some of our English classes and some of the students wanted to connect, they were using WhatsApp, and so that's not something I was used to, a platform I was used to interfacing with.
okay. So
Okay, so I have it right here.
go ahead.
Russians' distrust of Russians' rebellious spirit. God defend you from the sight of a Russian rebellion in all its ruthless stupidity. Alexander Pushkin, the captain's daughter. The Russians' patience sometimes wears thin, and they rebel. History is replete with rebellions of serfs against masters, peasants against gentry, Cossacks against lords, nobles against princes, and communists against commissars, usually with mindless destruction and wanton cruelty. There is also a record of revolt from within. Palace revolutions in the time of general secretaries and presidents, as well as czars, as Mikhail Gorbachev learned in August 1991, when a junta attempted to seize power in Moscow. And what's interesting, it's like a Spanish word. And
Yeah.
Boris Yeltsin, well, I don't know why is it Spanish? Boris
I
Yeltsin.
think coup's better. I think a coup is better. A coup.
Yeah, it should be coup. See this one right here, a junta. I don't know why she chose a Spanish word.
Yeah,
It's just
did.
kind of funny to me.
Yeah.
Boris, she probably got it from another document that talked about, or something she read about South America or something like that. And as Boris Yeltsin learned in 1993, when a similar attempt was made by hardliners in the Russian parliament, conspiracies, coups, insurrections, ethnic warfare, and national independence movements all reflect the instabilities and inequalities of Russian society and its resistance to change. When peaceful evolution is not viable, revolution becomes inevitable.
You know what? I don't know if they stole it, but I think they stole it from John F. K. That's that actual sentence. He stole it from John F. K. So, or yeah. So JFK, he stole that quote. So, anyway, go on.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up.
Is that your daughter or your
No,
wife?
that's my wife.
I can't tell. I think you have a polygamist home that you're not telling somebody.
Oh, okay. Well, it could be if you know somebody that's available. I'm always looking to add, another room to my house or something.
We're all Mormons here, so we can talk about the future of polygamy. So okay, and go on, please. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, the one you said I was going to reinstate polygamy.
Yeah.
Become president of the show. Russians have long been seen as submissive to authority, politically passive and unswerving in policy. But when the breaking point is reached, the submissive citizen spurns authority, the docile worker strikes, the passive person becomes politically active, and rigid policies are reversed almost overnight. Such a point was reached in the late 1980s when the Soviet Union experienced food shortages, crippling strikes, a deteriorating economy, nationality unrest, ethnic warfare, movements for sovereignty or independence by the republics, inept government responses to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster and the Armenian earthquake, and revelations of widespread environmental devastation. In reaction to these events, voters of the Russian Federation rebelled in June 1991. Given a choice, they rejected the candidates of communism and chose their president Boris Yeltsin and his program of decentralization, democracy, and economic reform. Yeltsin thus became the first freely elected leader in Russian history. In August 1991, Russians rebelled again, taking to the streets of Moscow in a massive protest that helped bring down the old guard junta that had attempted to seize power.
It's terrible.
It's there again. And December 1995, disillusioned with reform, corruption, and a deep decline in their standard of living, Russians repudiated the Yeltsin administration by electing a parliament that was deeply divided between opponents and supporters of the democratic and economic reforms, and between Westerners and Slavophiles. Russians determined to protect and preserve Russians' unique cultural values and traditions.
Okay, yeah. So Slavophiles, that's actually the definition of Slavophiles.
Yeah.
I put
Yeah, it has
that
that kind of in parentheses. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
it's
thought
kind of
about skipping
important
that.
because
Yep.
it's in another section, but most people don't know what a Slavophile is. So
Yeah, that's important. And that was a really good explanation in there talking about Solzhenitsyn and Dostoevsky.
yeah,
Okay, then
I'm shaking my head about that. So yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, so this is pretty good written, pretty well written. So any comments, Alan? Oh, somebody's
I
here.
have a thought.
Oh my
I got
God,
a thought.
Nitish is here. Everybody,
I got
welcome.
a thought.
Hello.
I got a thought here.
Okay, one second. Let me introduce you to Nitish, Alan. Okay. Nitish is
Yeah.
from India. And of course, it's kind of funny because this is a book about Americans versus Russians, but he is fluent in Russian and he knows so much. He knows all the bad words in Russian. He knows how to say all the terrible things. He's actually my Russian teacher, my new Russian teacher. And
Oh, I see.
brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And like most Indian people, he has a heart of gold, like most
So
Indian men. So
he knows how to jump out of the car and yell at somebody when they cut you off.
Right.
Nitish?
All right. Yeah. Thanks a lot for the introduction. Actually, I could not listen the debate on Slavophilism. No. See, I'm a student of Russian literature. So I'd like to add something on what is Slavophil. This term Slavophil is not new in Russian literature and in Russian culture also. Like there's a writer Dostoevsky. Maybe you have heard about him. Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostoevsky. Have you listened about him? Justin and Travis.
Yes.
Oh yes, yes. So it's in the book. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it, but it actually
No,
there's
it's
a
not.
section.
No. I'm sorry. Yeah, Justin, please go ahead.
I'm sorry. So it's not really in this section right here that we were just reviewing. That was just posted, but in the book proper, there's a section that describes the difference, and it actually mentions that writer specifically.
Oh yeah, because he is considered the most Slavophilic writer, Dostoevsky. See, the meaning is, you know the meaning of Slava. Slav. What is Slav?
It's well, I know it's a group, but I don't know what the actual base
So
Latin is.
okay, so you are in Moscow. Justin, you're also in Moscow.
Yes.
No, I'm in the United States.
All right. So have you ever listened, Travis? Have you ever listened to the word Slavyansky?
No.
It's the Russian race. It's the real Russian race. It's Slavyansky.
Yeah, I knew. Yeah. Uh-huh.
There's three countries. They call themselves Slavyansky: Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine.
Yes.
And their language is Russian. So they see there are many. Russia also has many culture. Like there's Kafkas in south, and they are Tatarin from Tataristan. But Russian, they call themselves Slavic. So this meaning of Slav is the real original old Russian. And we know the meaning of philia. Philia, Greek word, it means love. So those who love the real Russian, it's actually it's actually a nationalist point of view. It's nationalist ideology to love its own race. That is Slavophilism.
Yeah. That's actually covered in the Slavophile section, the Westerner versus Slavophile section. You can definitely play with that and look at it.
Yeah, actually, this is
so.
Yeah.
Since you brought that up, let me ask you a question about Russians. When you're talking about Slavophiles, and so we all recognize or understand just from the use of the word that it refers to a race like the Russian people. But in the UK, they also have the idea of being English as opposed to other ethnicities that exist in the UK, and sometimes there can be a sense of political connectedness or offense. If I say they say, well, I'm Scottish. You think, you guys in Britain think everybody is English, right? Yeah. For example, right? When you have, several different identifications there. And so I'm wondering if there's something, so when people say Slavophile, do they really associate it closely with race in that way where they feel like maybe some of those other peoples maybe are less Russian? Or
yeah, it is okay. Yeah, you want to continue?
Well, I think you basically got the idea because
Yeah,
you started to
yeah,
respond.
yeah.
Yes.
I got the idea. See, when you talk about British, England, or Scotland, or even America, there's lots of intermingling. There is no proper European culture. Like English, they came from Germany. It was, they called it Angle. See, do you know? Okay, just a little bit about England. Do you know the meaning of where from the word English came?
Yes, it's from the one of the dominant tribes. You had the Angles,
Yeah,
and
Engels,
that's where we
exactly.
get and that's where we get the name of
Yeah,
the language, English, actually, and then when we kind of
exactly,
say English
exactly.
today. Mhm.
And this Angle was part of North German, not Germany. So this English was a part of it. It was a dialect of German language.
Yeah, and
So
actually, the kind of the predecessor to English is still extant today
yeah,
in the Netherlands, Frisian.
yes. So that's why I'm saying there's a very lots of intermingling in culture when you talk about English. You got the point. But with Russia, there is no such intermingling. The old Slavic race actually it originated from Kiev. There's also a term Kiev Rus. It's Kiev is basically Ukraine,
Wow.
and for long period they lived there. And there was an attack from this Mongolian attack. Chinggis Khan, from the predecessor of Chinggis Khan, they did attack, but they could attack only the southern part of Russia. Today
Wow.
that part is Kafkas. You know Kafkas?
Yeah.
Justin and
Chocolate.
okay, Travis must be knowing Kafkas. It's
Yeah.
actually the southern part, or the other country like CIS countries,
Oh, Alan.
Turkmenistan.
Alan had something to
This
say.
chocolate.
Yeah, Alan, please go ahead.
Sugar. Okay.
Alan?
Alan, you
Yes,
wanted to
sir.
say something?
Oh, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just to kind of roll back a little bit on the examples you gave regarding um, the disregard for authority. You said the Russian people do not lack authority. Kind of thought of. I just wanted to kind of probably ask a question. The examples you provided were number one, 1991. Number two, 1995. And then I think I thought the examples were only modern day Russia, like really the last 25 years. I thought if you were talking about the character of the psyche of a nation, uh, how about getting some examples kind of uh, that are older in time, like I don't know, the 1800s, the 1900s? Uh, don't you think that would be better support? What do you think about that?
What do you guys think? My two intellects. You got to worry because you got to be careful because with intellects start talking, you guys will like go on forever, never, never. Like, which is great. I would just love it, but we would spend 3 hours talking. So I'm excited you guys are here. So I'm so excited. But anyway, what do you guys think?
Well, I think it
Actually,
does talk.
yeah, Justin, please go ahead.
Okay, so if we go back and we kind of stopped like halfway through, I mean there was some more on it, but it does mention I think in the beginning, and then it talks a little about monarchy and SARS. Those are kind of older ideas. It does emphasize in the part that we read, you know, kind of the modern structure. That's important for interacting with Russians today. And when you are talking, you're right. When you are talking about, you know, when you're talking about the psyche or the kind of the spirit of the nation, lots of times, you know, you want to feel like you're going back kind of to the deep roots. I think that's basically covered because it spends more time talking about the monarchy and SARS after, you know, the part that I read, even though it was part of the introduction also. It doesn't use a lot of years though. It doesn't cite, you know, like this year or that year. It just says, you know, it just has some different things talking about, you know, mentioning different revolutions and things like that. You know, what's existed over the centuries.
Yeah, so good point, Alan.
Yeah.
We definitely have that in the book. So in the Westerns
All right.
and Slovak
Okay,
But
section.
that's
Western and Slavic. Oh, great.
yeah, because that's
You know,
something we can add in. I mean, if you wanted more specific, because it mentions, you know, like Cossacks, you know, revolting against, you know, and the workers revolting against, you know, things like that. And so if you wanted to say, well, we have these specific years in modern Russia, and it does tie that in to older sorts of rebellions, but that's maybe something we can look at and say, well, we have a mention of a 1917 revolt. It seems like a lot of time is devoted to the 80s and 90s, which I guess is okay. But, maybe as part of these other examples talking about SARS, we can put in, some years in there as well. Is that kind of, Alan, would make that seem a little bit more palatable to you?
Yeah, because I think the idea was the psyche of the nation. And if it's spread in time, I feel like it's better.
Yeah, so I think it does have references to those other times, but if we just add a few more years in there, mentioning specific results instead of, so I think what you're feeling is that there seems to be kind of a vague hand waving about the SARS and some of those other rebellions instead of saying, like in the 1400s, in 1423 there was this thing, and then this other one, where you have more of a feeling of it has a, like when you're talking about the more modern examples, a stronger feeling of a series of rebellions.
All right.
Can we just say Slavs? Please say I'm just gonna say
Yes,
Slavs.
Slav. You
It's
can
much
say Slav.
better. He uses there's just big words. I think it's much better. Slavs.
No, but the meaning changes. Slav is a race, but Slavophil, it's idea. I mean, both are not synonyms.
They're not synonyms? Okay. Okay, good you're here. So
Yeah. See, if you'll allow me, actually, I joined you a bit late, so I could not get what you discussed before. But let me tell you something about myself, that I am a PhD scholar. Actually, maybe even Travis didn't know about me.
no.
I am not for him. I'm doing research in Russian literature. I've done my graduation and MA in Russian language, and I taught Russian language in Delhi University. And actually, I've not said all the things to Irina because I don't want to show that I know a lot, because I came to her as a student. Anyways,
I can't hear.
So,
You can't hear?
hello, yeah.
Okay, I could hear you
So,
real quick.
okay.
I think you just got cut off for a moment. The last part I got was you're mentioning that you're a PhD scholar.
Yeah, actually, my topic is related to this debate: Slavophilism and Westernism. It's 19th century, yeah.
Yeah, Nitish, there's actually a really good book. I met the author, and he's incredible, and he talks a lot about Slavophiles and modern Slavophiles, and I could get you the name of the book. So he's an incredible author. I met him, and you may have read him, and you may be familiar with him. But
What is his
you know,
name?
I'll get you it later. I don't remember off the
Okay.
top of my head. So yeah, he just came out
So
with
in
a
case,
book.
so if you are interested in knowing the history of this debate, I can tell something if you're interested. But it is 19th century thing. I don't know it is interesting for you or not.
See,
Well, I think it is.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So I don't know. I think it's interesting, but I think we should have you look at that part on that little section explaining that piece.
Yeah,
from
kind of
the book,
introduction.
and right, and give some feedback.
Okay.
I think that'd be really good. So
Okay.
Ready for a picture? Everybody smile. Everybody smile. Okay.
this
All right. We'll add a picture to. Okay, good deal. All right. So why don't we since Nitish came in a little bit late, why don't we just introduce ourselves? Me and I'm sorry. Wait 1 second. Me and Nitish know each other, but why don't you you just introduce yourself, Belva? Why don't you tell a little bit about yourself, and then Alan, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself too?
Okay, so my name is Justin Belleville, and I think I met Travis in the 90s. I have kind of a more modest education than a PhD, and it's in mathematics. I'm actually the least qualified in terms of Slavic history and things like that in the group, or associating with the culture. But I have written several books, and which have been published, and so that's part of, and part of the team is just being a friend of Travis, and also being able to edit and give feedback from an American perspective.
Great.
Alan?
Hey guys, I'm Aaron. I studied civil engineering at school, and then I'm also a communications expert. My citizenship keeps changing. Right now, I'm a Russian citizen. Speak French, English, Russian fluently. I love history. I watch National Geographic, World War II, the battlefield, leadership failures, why Germany lost the war, and stuff like that. Um, so this touches a little bit on history and maybe leadership, and so I'm excited to bring something to the table. Thank you.
Yeah, Alan wants to really focus on cheating in schools. He actually has a son right now that's in school. His ex-wife is Russian. He's here in Moscow. We met here in Moscow, and he wants to focus on like how cheating kind of develops in schools. So yeah, here. So cool. All right. Well, good. Yeah, I just invited Nitish, and he said wow and big. Just today, I just thought, he really knows his stuff about Russia, and he's fluent in Russian like Alan, and so he'd be perfect. And so it's mutually beneficial to everybody that he's here. But just to let you know a little bit about the book, I just kind of sent him the link this morning. It's whenever you write a book, you always got to focus on the niche market, or like who your readers are. And our readers are basically.
Sorry to interrupt. How about a few words about yourself?
Oh, about me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nitish knows me, but I could introduce myself a little bit more. Yeah. My name's Travis. I'm a lawyer. I have 4 degrees. My last degree was in sociology. I just graduated a month ago, or actually 2 months ago, with a master's. And I've written 2 books. This will be my 3rd book. So yeah, so I'm excited. So, but yeah, so anyway, so the focus is basically is a dumb American. That's basically who we're focused on. No, well, you're not a dumb American. You're public. Well, you were a dumb American on Russia, but now you know more about it. Yeah. I guess you're our guinea pig, Justin. So yeah, since you've never been here before. So yeah, that's actually kind of a good idea, because Justin has never been to Russia at all. He really knows no Russians, and so we're trying to write the book for him. So yeah, so he's our guinea pig. So basically, the idea is that we kind of we have it really light reading. The college, like basically somebody that has a bachelor's degree, because the majority of Americans don't travel abroad. Only 50% have a passport, and so those that do travel abroad are higher educated. So we want basically somebody that's graduated with a bachelor's. So nothing higher than that. And then Americans kind of, history's good. And so what we're going to do is we're going to, like Alan mentioned that, and then you are an expert on that, Nitish, is we're going to put a lot of the history in boxes. So like if bored Americans don't want to read about history, they can skip that section. So yeah, so right now we're at like 148 pages. A big thing I wanted to do, we don't have to do it this time, is just talk about the enormous table of contents. We just need to it's just huge now. So but yeah, that's where we're at right now. So
well, I kind of combined when I did the part on lying, and which I just kind of written, so I know you guys haven't had a chance to look at it. But I wasn't happy with the flow of it, and I thought it could sound a little more sympathetic. It's kind of provide a better bridge to Americans. So it has all the basic information there, but you also had some other things that were broken into other sections that were going to be expanded, and I included those in there, and I just called it, and I wanted to retitle it Russian Pragmatism, because I was thinking about a good title for it instead of Russians lie, because I thought that sounded kind of pejorative. And so that kind of brings across the way that they're looking at it from a practical standpoint.
Yeah.
But I put the part on the school cheating in there, and on contracts and agreements as well.
Yeah, and we could always
And so that shortens it
we
down.
could
Yeah.
definitely, like Alan says, he's excited, and we're gonna, the deadline is basically August 15th for his section, and so he's definitely he's got his he's working a lot of things, but he said he's gonna do 2 to 3 pages. So yeah, on that. So
Oh, so if you wanted to do the school system, then we'd probably have to take that part out of the part that I rewrote.
yeah,
And because I don't know how important that's going to be to the reader ultimately, but if it's something you want to write 2 or 3 pages about, then it should be removed from the section about pragmatism, because I got all those things that Americans might find dishonest but are morally acceptable in Russia, essentially, kind of explaining those things in that section. And I thought that was a good place for it. But if you wanted a more detailed treatment, then that's going to be removed from the section. That have to be removed from the section on lying.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure though if you really want a long section on that. I mean, maybe we do. I mean, that's kind of the proof is in the pudding when we kind of see the product. But if you say, hey, there's a lot of cheating in Russian schools, how much do you want to dwell on that or talk about that in terms of working or dealing with Russians? I'm not sure.
I just there was a woman that I met with for an hour, and I think it was actually Olga. She's participated a lot in the conversations, and everybody keeps coming back to children. Like, why don't you have a section about children? And I think that including kind of at least like how they cheat and how that kind of like basically how their mentality is created, because to us as Americans, it's just so shocking, like how much lying is acceptable here. So
Alan, is that section that you're writing, is that really kind of cheating's a part of it, and it has immorally about attitudes among youth and children, or the way that children behave in Russia? Because I know you mentioned before in a previous conversation how children seem different, than what you were accustomed to when you came to Russia.
Okay, before I try to answer the question, let me ask one question. Well,
if you're traveling at the speed of light,
remember when?
No, go ahead.
If you can, Justin, if you can just travel back in time and remember when you were elementary school boy.
If a train leaves the station at 6, no, go ahead.
Belleville's being nerdy again. So yeah, as a fellow nerd, I laugh. So yeah.
So when somebody cheated in class, if that ever happened, and then after the test, how would they talk about it in the schoolyard among friends? Would they ever mention that? And what was the attitude among friends and among parents and stuff? Among friends mostly.
Yeah, I think that it's generally it's considered dishonest. Now the attitude about because a little bit depends on your attitude towards authority. So like with kids, because I taught school for 14 years, I taught mathematics. Yeah. And and mostly, of course, I taught in with the majority of students were from Mexico or had Hispanic heritage. So probably a lot of my classes that was at a minimum a half up to 90%, right? And so some of those things are maybe a little bit different, but cheating was relatively common. There were people who were but if you were somebody who was honest, that was still going to be respected. But a lot of people, if they felt like maybe what you're teaching is a waste of time, or they felt like they could game the system to get what they wanted, so a lot of it, there was still, like, for a lot of people, an emphasis on maybe looking good as opposed to maybe being good. It's not really important. This is a step to something else and things like that. And so some of the things where I can understand, some things, at the college level or other instances and things like that, cheating does exist, but it's still considered, dishonest. Is it going to be a big scandal in the schoolyard if somebody cheats? Well, it really depends on the students. The reactions that I see can vary a lot. So the cheating is, I think, has become more acceptable. People are upset, when they know that they don't necessarily want to rat out their classmates, but they are upset when they feel like other students are getting ahead by cheating when they're trying to be honest. So, I mean, there's you know, because you can see there's kind of different currents there.
So, just a quick follow-up question here. The cheater, does he take pride in that?
Somebody who,
Good question, Alan.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, cheaters generally will. But if you think about somebody who's a thief, for example, lots of times they'll take pride in their thieving. So it's the idea that you can, you know, that you're clever, that you can get one over on somebody else. You know, so I think especially for teenagers and things like that, that's kind of appealing. So people who cheat a lot are oftentimes they're not upset about or have a low self-esteem for their cheating. And you know, sometimes they can be proud of it.
Yeah.
Especially if they think they're clever.
Okay. Now, to answer your question, what shocked me was here in Russia was not only does the cheater take pride, but the people who didn't cheat are dumb.
They're dumb?
Do you understand the extent of the culture?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah. So that's a little bit different because you're the sucker, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're the
Oh, the
sucker.
people that don't
Yeah.
cheat. The people that don't cheat are stupid, right?
You're a loser. Yeah, you're a loser.
Right, you're the
because
chump.
You try to play it by the rule and you fail, so you're a loser.
Yeah, that's what Anna said last week.
So that was shocking. I mean, when I was a teenager, I mean, the guy had the prettiest girl. He's a macho. Yeah, that was cool. That was fine. But you never really bragged. You never really took pride in cheating in a test. You know, it was kind of, you never really wanted to talk about that too much. Over here, it's like, wow, you're cool. That's awesome. Teach me how to do it next time.
Well, yeah. So, and there's some like when people, as far as people who do well. So even though, you know, there can be some flippancy or a way, it can be seen as a way of being rebellious or clever sometimes when you cheat, just like watching a heist movie, right? There's sort of that same sort of element with some of the cheaters. But overall, I mean, if somebody does really well and they're intelligent and they study, that is in total, that's universally respected here in the US. You're more respected in general for, you know, for doing it, for being able to do it yourself, right? For showing you can do it yourself than somebody else.
Let me give you two more examples to show you. Yeah, let me give you two more examples to show you how profound the culture is. There is a parallel industry, a cheating industry in education here in Russia. And they release all kinds of tiny little material on how you can use to cheat. Well, that you can use to cheat. Even when it comes to driving tests, there's a whole parallel, you know, guys who release stuff for you to cheat and pass the driving test. So it's just
like video games.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just like I'm blown away, you know.
So Nitish, since you went to school and stuff, what's kind of your experience, and if you can relate that to
I agree.
Expertise.
I agree with Alan, because I was in Russian school, and lots of my friends are a school teacher, so we keep talking about all this. See, one thing very popular in Russia, like there are some internet sites, you can pay money and get homework. It's very common. Like a student buy homework, actually, literally. And there are some teachers, actually, in fact, there are some teachers who do the homework by taking money. Like there's teacher from another school, he has made his own personal site. There you can go pay the money and buy the homework. This is very common.
From the teacher?
Yeah, from another teacher, not the same teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. And it's not only in schools, but also in universities. Like in university, every student must write some diploma, some essay or some long write-up, and usually they purchase it from site.
Now, do you find it more? Do you find the cheating more common than in India? Is it more common?
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, cheating thing is there. I think it's in every country. I don't know about America, but yeah, Indian do cheat in schools.
So you see it
It's
more in
common thing.
India or more in Russia?
I think similar condition. I didn't find that cheating. Like someone makes cheat, you want to say, like making cheat and seeing it in examination. That kind of cheating you wanted to ask.
Yeah,
See,
just in
cheating can be
general,
of different kinds.
would you think that like there's more cheating in India or more cheating in Russia?
I think similar condition. Even in India, I didn't find this surprising when I was in Russia, because Indian students do cheat the same way as Russian
Yeah,
cheat.
see, and again, we're writing the books for
So
Americans.
I
And for
think both are
Americans,
same thing.
yeah, see,
Conditions are
Americans.
same, pretty same.
Okay, yeah, see,
Yeah.
Americans are very
I
self-righteous.
don't know exactly what. Yeah, I don't know what exactly are things in America, so I can't comment on that.
Yeah,
But compared to India, yeah, they do not cheat a lot.
yeah. Americans tend to be more self-righteous, and they actually do follow they tend to be more religious. They tend to follow the rules more. And then of course Alan has a background in Canada. He's from Canada, and so he kind of has that same American view. So yeah.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question. Now, one of the things that have been commented that I've heard in the past for a lot of Asian countries, and I guess in this case, Russia might be similar, and that's kind of where my question lies, is one of the explanations for the effort and industry, all the effort that's put into cheating in some of the Asian countries, which may include India, is just the high stakes that are placed on and the competitiveness that are placed on the tests themselves. And so you have maybe a couple hours or some things like that. That's a huge impact on your future and doesn't necessarily reflect your skills. And so, it comes down to a test. I knew somebody from Pakistan, for example, who got a degree in mathematics, and they never collected any homework from him. So a lot of the things that you do to develop good habits as a student, he wasn't really expected to do, and they didn't really keep track of, a lot of things, but he had a long test that was supposed to represent all the cumulative experience that he had in school. And, and then it had a huge, impact on what would happen after that. And so, so if you guys can comment on that in Russia, do you think that cheating has any association with, with as far as the consequences of the tests, or, what they call high stakes testing?
Oh, you mean the consequences of cheating?
Okay.
No. So if there's like a really high value on a test as far as determining the future of your life, right, then that increases the incentive to cheat and the effort that somebody might put into passing, because not only do they have to pass the test, but they also have to do better than their peers. We see that especially in China, where they have lots and lots of anti-cheating measures, but you have to be like in the 99th percentile lots of times in order to have certain privileges. You have to really be at the very, very top. And so is it a sort of a competition that drives the cheating in Russia, do you think, or is it just something completely different?
I think it's the culture, because when it comes to testing, students actually have a bunch of chances. First of all, you after you write the exam, you are going for an interview. Oops. Justin, still there?
Yep,
I'm still
we're
here.
here.
So after you do the written part, you're gonna meet the professor, and you go face to face, and you have a chance you can redeem yourself. And if you fail that, you can come the second and third time. So there's lots of chances. You speak. Maybe you were stressed on the paper, so you have a chance to do it orally, verbally. And one thing, I've spoken to some people, and they tell me, my dad is coming at the end of the semester to buy it. And another thing that shocked me is, you have in colleges you have the HOD, the head of department,
Uh-huh.
and essentially he has the right to fail or pass a student. That's just his right. So in other words, if you failed in the class, he has the right to pass you just because he has that power. And
Yeah.
so that means he can sell it to you. You can just ignore all the lectures and just like, I'm gonna deal with that guy because he has the power to do it legally.
You know, guys, one thing that was really fascinating to me. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Belva. Ask your question.
It's the way the system is built. So there's somebody up there who is the Almighty, and it comes down to, I'm gonna deal with him. I'm not gonna attend any lecture. Also.
Well, in the part that I
So let
rewrote.
me.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to agree with Justin what he has said about Eastern culture. This is what happens in India, this is what happens in China and other Eastern countries. See, Russia is somewhere between Western culture and Eastern culture. Russia always try to go towards West. You in Moscow, you will see this trend going towards West, and this is not modern trend. This is right from the 10th century when it accepted Christianity. Then there was a great Emperor Peter the Great. He wanted to make Russia a Western country, and even today, like even, okay, only in Soviet era there was a conflict between West and Russia, but just not paying focus on that. There was also a trend going towards West, but in core, Russia has Eastern values, Eastern things with itself. So I think when you say that thing in Russian schools, where do they cheat? I agree with you. I agree with Justin what he said. The thing of competition, because getting marks does gives you good jobs, so they do cheat.
Okay.
Am I clear?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. So does somebody want to read this section really quick about the university? We'll just go on this, and then I was thinking about.
Well,
go ahead.
Why don't you? So in this part right here, I want you to pull up, if you can, the part that I wrote about lying.
Can we talk about that later? Our like.
Well, I want you to look at the part about the university, because I moved this into that part about lying, and the explanation I gave was essentially related to the previous explanations having to do with politics. So I want you to, and so it's the university part, right? But I moved that into the section which I retitled Russian Pragmatism instead of Russians Lie.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So can we just cover the university section, and then we're going to cover the table of contents today?
Well, because I changed the way the university section was, right? I just wanted you to look at that part, not the whole thing that I wrote, right? Just the part about the university, because it was kind of integrated into the lying section.
Okay, Alan, did you have something to say? I'm sorry.
No, I'm done long ago.
Okay. So let's see here. Yeah, let's just read this section really quick. Does anybody want to read it? I could read it, I guess. Nitish, can you see it or?
No. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah,
All
I can see. Please read.
If you want to read it, so.
No. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So tolerance of dishonesty is high in the university system. With few exceptions, Russian universities do not address the issue of academic cheating, plagiarism, falsifications of term papers, or even various forms of gratification in return for the good grade. In return for a good grade. Okay. At institutional levels.
So how about we change gratification to gratuity?
That's kind of.
Various forms of gratification in return for a good grade. Well, maybe you don't want to use gratuity of pro quo.
Quid pro quo. That's even more uncommon word.
Okay, keep going.
In forms of gratuity. Okay, we'll highlight that one. So. Okay. At institutional levels. As a result, cheating is blossoming both among students and faculty and reinforcing corruption practices outside, I will put of academia. Okay, 1 in 7 students readily admit to cheating in university exams. 1 in 25 of students admit to having paid for someone else to write at least one midterm or final year paper. 50% of students in economics and management state that cheaters should receive no more than a warning if caught. And this is the most interesting part. These are from scientific papers. Why do Russians think this way? Why do university students? So number 1, cheating has become a response to boring and meaningless education. Students cheat when they are cheated, okay? The vast Russian students hate informers. This is fascinating. There's a common Russian saying, first whip to the informer. So first whip the informer, I guess. Okay, maybe we'll look at that. So, yeah, okay. Appears to prevail. Collective and individualistic values differ between countries. In the United States and Russia, 2 cultural differences appear to relate directly to cheating. In the United States, in contrast to Russia, competition among students is seen as the important intrinsic value of the education system, a value that it affects interaction between students. Thus, cheating is condemned because it is considered an unfair instrument of competition. The attitude to the law and to officials differ between the 2 countries. In the former USSR, in contrast, I think, like in contrast in Russia, something like that, the attitude to the law and to the officials differ between the 2 countries. In the former USSR, the judicial system served as the instrument of the party, and a common view was that officials are enemies. This attitude existed towards policemen, civil servants, train conductors, and also toward teachers, and may explain the strong negative attitude towards informers among Russian students. Okay, so the large number of students in a collective that is cheating, intolerant towards cheating, the more often the students will cheat. The more tolerant they are, and the less costly it is for every student to cheat and to be tolerant towards cheating. This is the coordination effect. The more consistently a behavioral norm is observed by members of society, the greater the cost to an individual who doesn't follow the behavior. So kind of like a race to the bottom, basically. If you guys are familiar with that term, I could put that right here for now. So that's a legal term. So yeah. So anyway, so that kind of builds on what maybe Alan wants to talk about. So at least on the university level. So any thoughts, Nitish or Justin?
I just posted that part of what I wrote, and I kind of simplified that a little bit on the WhatsApp group.
Oh, you added. Oh, okay, you added this. You added more. Okay. You
Well, that's
changed.
what I changed it because remember I combined sections. So I was
Okay.
telling you is that because you're talking about that little part, and I said, well, that's the part I just rewrote, and so I wanted you to look at the way that I changed it.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm sorry. Okay, let me pull it up really quick.
So I just put it on the WhatsApp group, or just the way that I rewrote it, so you can look at, so you have what you wrote on the Zoom, right, the original, and you just compare that to because this is here, when I did it, it wasn't its own section, right? It was just kind of a continuation because I went to the part about how, Russia was trying to make a transition to the free market, and certain things like accountability or profit and loss are difficult, right? Because you talk about perestroika. And so there's that little section there. And then I use that to transition here into education and how, as educational opportunities open up, you have kind of similar types of problems with cheating. But here, I kind of related it into, instead of, citing kind of the studies, I simplified it a little bit, and and so it still has some of the same sort of information, but I related it more closely to Russian culture in a very simple way.
Okay.
And if we want to go into more detail, that's fine.
Thoughts, guys? Okay. All right. Yeah. So we could definitely look at that. So I really like how to So basically, you rewrote the 1, 2, and 3 section, the possible explanations, and you put it into a
Well,
paragraph. No.
right. So this is it. I mean, this is if you look at the 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just have this other part right here because we're talking about, you talk about, cooperativism in Russia, you talk about, mutual trust and things like that. So then you say, well, since cheating is widespread and group loyalty is a deeply held value, because that's what we talked about, because that's a part of the lying section. And so it ties it more closely to the lying section if I wording it this way. We don't have to keep it that way, but we can expand on it more in the children's section if you want. So informants and those seeking reform can be seen in a negative light. As the old Russian proverb goes, first whip to the informer. In addition, there remains a lot of social pressure to be a team player, even in a corrupt environment. The saying, it's not what you know, but who you know, holds true in Russia more than it does in America.
Okay, that's good. That's actually
So
that's a transition. I love that. That's great.
and then it transitions, and that transitions to the friendship section.
Brilliant. You are like the transition god. So seriously, I'm so impressed. Okay, that's cool. All right, let's see here. So we'll look at that too. So okay.
Okay, Travis, I wanted to ask something. Like you mentioned meaningless education. So
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it will be good if you will explain that term, because what actually you mean by that?
This is actually from a study.
Okay.
This is actually
No. I just wanted to know, I mean, how you understand the meaningless education.
well.
Mhm.
I mean, I could tell you anecdotal evidence. Just from what I understand, like, I don't know. I mean, like from what I understand it to be is like, for example, people take English, and their English level is really terrible, and they don't really learn how to learn English. For example,
I think you're saying a lack of intrinsic value, and and so if I looked at that and plus the other material we have, then basically it comes back to that saying that I put into the transition, right? It's really going to be your friends and your connections, not how well you do in school or how well you show you can do, right? It's going to be qualities like group loyalty and and playing as a team as opposed to individuality and excelling academically. So I think there's a disconnect between the value of academic performance and its connection to your life afterwards.
yeah,
I mean, that's kind of how I interpreted that. Would that be accurate, Travis?
maybe. So,
Well, maybe. Well, if you're gonna put it in there, you got to know what you mean.
I mean, I can get out my Ouija board and try to divine what the author meant by it, but what do you?
Okay, let me just jump. Just Nitish, what's the other
Nitish.
guy's name? Nitish.
Yeah.
When I went to junior high, in elementary school, you basically study what you're told to study, and then you go to high school, then you go to junior high, then you begin to choose subjects.
Yeah.
Right? In other words, if you are an engineering student, if you are a science guy, most likely you will never have anything to do with history or philosophy.
Yeah.
Right? The Russian system is still, I would use the word redundant, maybe not useless, right?
Yeah, I actually, the same thing I wanted to ask.
I'm trying to answer your question. Perhaps the idea is redundant subjects, redundant knowledge, or
exactly,
maybe irrelevant.
This is what I actually wanted to hear, because the same thing I realized when I was in Russia. In India, most students get medical education or technical education. After that, they can go for work. In Russia, most students study history or some sociology. Like it's very difficult to get job after history. You don't get direct job. The thing is, after studying history, they go and work in a shop as salesman.
Yeah.
So they really don't find the purpose of learning history, because they will not get job from that subject or
Exactly.
any other
Exactly. So this goes
social
for,
sciences. This is the thing. Like even mathematics,
yeah.
like see, after doing BA, like graduation in mathematics, they won't get any suitable job. Usually they don't go get the engineering job. They simply go in supermarket and work as a salesman.
Yeah, that's true because
It's very
because
common. It's very
because
common
Russians
in
are
Russia.
very educated. They're probably the most. This is something that we can include
Yeah.
like in a little box. Is that Russians are probably, if not the most educated people in the world, like the top one or two. Like
So
they're in the top five of the most.
Travis,
Well,
Yeah.
you had difficulty clarifying that. I think that's what Nitish wanted to hear. As he said,
Hmm.
when you said useless, you want to clarify and say redundant with
Redundant.
concrete
Yeah.
examples. Okay.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah, meaningless. Yeah, 1 second.
well,
Yeah.
I don't think, I don't think redundant is what we were going for, because redundant refers to like like a repetition, right?
That's
That
what
you,
it is, though, in Russia.
that's like a doubling up, right? It's more than, and
Yeah.
so you're saying, well, it's not needed, or it doesn't really apply to what I'll end up doing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That is. That's
Justin.
exactly
Yeah,
what
That's
it
but
is.
exactly what I'm saying.
That's the way
That's
they
not
teach English, too.
right. But redundant is means something different. It's like a backup system that
Well,
has serves the same function as the primary system.
yeah, but what they do is what I'm like
Like the
redundant is
Maybe
it?
something that should be like useless. The main idea what I want is not
Yeah, but
meaningless, because meaningless it means you're simply negating the education system. But useless,
so
like you can't
how
use that
about
education
how about
in your job.
meaninglessly redundant? Meaninglessly redundant.
Okay,
no,
guys.
but
Write the idea. You're gonna. This is semantics. You're gonna check out in the dictionary later on.
okay,
Yeah,
I-
just
good enough.
highlight that word. And
So I have another perspective on that as well, because we were talking about what's meant by useless. But let's say, because reading about the revolution, this is kind of similar to when I talk to my friends from the Middle East, about their experience, who gets what job and things like that, and who gets to go to school and who doesn't, is basically, if you think about, reading about the Russian Revolution, a lot of the people who had jobs, certain, maybe even, maybe they were farmers, or maybe they were, they worked in the steel factory, maybe they ran the train station, so when the Soviet Revolution occurred, basically those people were cleaned out, and maybe people were just reassigned. You essentially got a party job. You're reassigned to something that maybe you don't even know much about, right? But you're awarded that job. So the job is a reward for party loyalty. Well, how does that affect your culture over time? So if any job that you get isn't really based on merit, but it's based on loyalty, that tells you that it's not really, what, you're not really, even if the education is focused on exactly giving you the skills that you need. Now, I'm going to go and study engineering. I'm going to be an engineer. But if it doesn't matter how well you do in engineering school, and it doesn't matter how high you score on the test, but instead who you're connected to, then that makes that educational experience less meaningful, even if you're going to apply that knowledge directly. And so that's a little bit different perspective than just saying, oh, I'm never going to use this.
I wish Anna was here. I agree 100%. I wish Anna was here. She's our resident expert. So our millennial resident expert. So, yeah.
yeah, see, when I was in hostel, lots of my friends, they also said the same thing, like the job that you will go get only because of connection with someone who is already in that field. If you need a government job, you need a person who is already in government. So this is how you get job, not because of your education, but only because of your contact.
Exactly. And that's why, when I talk to people from let's say Iran, or or Iraq, for example, that's exactly what they describe, is that there's, kind of tribal loyalty. And so if you know somebody in government, maybe you'll get to go to university, but then you have to know somebody else in order to get a job. So you have a lot of people maybe who have enough their family has enough connections for them to get a doctorate degree, for example, or a PhD to be PhD scholars. But then, they're going to be sweeping the floor or, serving fast food or something like that because they don't have the right connections to get into the field.
Yeah. Yeah. Good deal. Okay. So I have the table of contents. It's a mammoth. It's just absolutely huge. Yeah. So I just wanted to kind of go over this. This kind of gives Nitish a kind of an idea of the book. And then, those of you guys that haven't really gone through this. So do you want to pull?
Titles are really interesting. I must
Yeah,
say.
that's the idea.
They are catchy. They are catchy. I really want to know what exactly is
a
inside.
hook. The idea is the hook. You always,
Yeah.
My undergraduate is in marketing, and so you always have to have that hook. Like every title has to be a hook. So, yeah. So, if you want to just kind of go through this, Belleville, can you pull up the document? And we could work on this simultaneously, guys. If you guys, especially if you guys have laptops, we can do this simultaneously. All four of us could fight over like a particular word at the same time. You can do this also on your phone. So, do you want to pull this Word document up?
Just are we pulling up which document are we pulling up right now?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Google document. So if you want.
Why don't Russians smile?
Yeah.
Okay, and where do you want us to go in the document?
On Google, Gmail.
Yeah, it's Google Docs.
No.
Anybody has access to it.
What page on the document what do you want us to look at?
Page 3 of table of contents.
Oh, the table of contents. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, let me take out my laptop. That will be comfortable.
Yeah. You should really work with your laptop, even in your Russian classes, because it's so much
All right.
easier. Yeah.
No, actually, the problem is I'm staying at my brother's place and it's very noisy, so I have to keep changing my place. So with laptop, it's not very possible to go somewhere.
Oh, you're couch
with my
surfing.
mobile. Yeah, I do surfing inside house.
Your couch.
And there's a small kid of 5 years. He always make noises, very unpleasant noises. So I keep on moving. So it's not very comfortable to work with laptops. Mm-hmm.
We can. So you have the section dating, marrying, and divorcing.
Yeah.
Can those be? It seems like those can be combined.
Well, that's the title of it. Yeah, that's the title of it.
Oh, section dating, and then you have chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just be relations with the opposite sex or something like that. Those 3 chapters can all be, you can have subsections in there, but it can all be one thing.
See this?
Yes.
What is this? It's Captain Hook. You have to have the hook. So
okay.
That's why sex is like in all caps, in all capital letters. You have to have the hook. So, okay. Anyway, so you have that up, Belleville?
Yes.
Okay. So, you're anonymous tiger today, which is so funny. So, okay.
So it always gives me a different animal, right?
Yeah. So why don't you share your screen so you know how to share your screen too? I just made you as go ahead and click the share screen button so we could practice. You see it? It's in the very middle bottom. If you just scroll up towards the bottom.
Why isn't that showing me that? Here we go. Nope.
We lost Alan. Do you see it?
No. Well, I saw it earlier, but now it's like.
Oh, you have to be on.
Oh, I think I'm on. I'm like, there we go. Share screen. Because I was looking at I ended up going over. I think I just minimized it so it didn't show me.
Close.
So I show screen.
Close. You know what? It starts with a P.
Yeah, breaking.
Yeah, we're losing you, Alan.
Yes, sir. You guys are breaking. I'm right here.
Okay, I thought we.
Okay, so does it show my screen now? It says
I
your
just
screen
can't
sharing.
put my
Okay, that's good.
laptop, man.
We see your screen.
Yeah, I'm here, all ears.
So pull up that financial, like that Google Sheets document you're talking about.
I'm afraid I don't think I can do that because I'm not in a position to pull up my laptop.
I'm talking about Belleville, so I'm joking. Okay.
Fried? Boiled?
Okay. So just scroll up to the next page, the previous page, and we can just read through it.
Okay.
So, and I keep changing the names. I got to go through, and what I need to do is I need to print this all out, and then, yeah. So, and you could be in the document too, Nitish.
How can I see the document?
Let me pull it up really quick. So it's why don't Russian smile? It's a webpage. Why don't
It's
Russian
on
smile?
WhatsApp. Where to get?
Okay,
On
yeah,
WhatsApp.
yeah. I'll send it to you
It's
right
a-
now.
He's gonna send you a Google Drive link.
Yeah, and I'll send you a Google Drive link, and I'll send you the, I'll
Google-
send you the main.
Google
Do you
Documents.
have my Gmail? Do you have my Gmail?
You don't need it. You just
Okay.
this link. Anybody that has Google Docs and a Gmail account can access it.
All right.
I just send it to you on Why Don't Russian Smile
On WhatsApp?
on
Where
WhatsApp.
exactly?
Yes.
That's-
Mhm,
Okay, let
yeah.
me open it from my computer.
Nitish, my Russian teacher. He's gonna get me on Russian television shows to talk bad things about America. I'm so excited. Protiv Amerikanets. Okay, so scroll down. You almost got it. Okay, so if you want to just read through that section, Justin, like the sections.
Okay. Why don't Russians smile? Starting with why don't Russians smile? So or do you want me to start with
Introduction.
social etiquette? Introduction. Okay. Introduction. I've never met anyone who understood Russians. Chapter
sorry,
1.
Sorry. Let me interrupt. Is it possible to share the screen? Because right now I'm not able to open my computer. Just also, is it possible to share the screen at the same time?
You should see the screen right now.
He's sharing it right now.
Okay. I got it. Thanks. Yeah, please. Sorry. Go ahead.
And I see
Okay.
Alan's forehead. So the video's not working for Alan, but that's okay. He can hear us. So
I'm right here, dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see the forehead. We're trying to determine what he's looking at.
You have a gorgeous forehead, Alan. I don't say that.
Thank you.
That is the first time I've ever said that to a man. So
Well, I don't know if I'd exactly try that as a pickup line,
Thank
Travis.
you.
I don't know.
hey, Justin, let me teach you one word. Okay, this is the one word, and we're gonna have a test. Okay.
Privet? No.
No, not privet. Gala boy,
Gala boy.
which is light blue, and that's another word for gay. So if you're gal a boy, like gal, like you're gal, like you hate a boy, like you're gal, like if you have gall for a person, a gal a boy, that's light blue, and it also means gay. So,
Man,
yes.
I you know, it's all bad. I'm never gonna have a good time in Russia.
Never know.
Well, you know, because number one, my birthday is National Women's Day.
Oh.
So that's number one. Number two, I have light blue eyes. So let's say, what color is his eyes?
Gala boy.
And he was born on National Women's Day. It's not gonna work out for me.
Yeah, you will never have any guests.
So your birthday's on March 8th?
Yes, it is.
That's
Not a good
awesome.
birthday in Russia.
No, I didn't even know that until my sister brought home like a Russian exchange student, and they said, "Oh, it's your birthday." They just started laughing. It's like, okay. We don't celebrate that in the U.S. Okay, so
Justin, You know how much material you've given me for the next 12 years? At your service, at your funeral service, I'm gonna remember this day.
It's only going to really translate for Russians, probably. But
4th of July weekend. 4th of July weekend. So, yeah. Okay.
Okay, chapter 1, Russian coconuts and American peaches. Why don't Russians smile? A, why are Americans like peaches and Russians are like coconuts?
Yeah.
B, why don't Russians smile? A, Soviet propaganda. B, immigration. C, social distancing, which I think we should get rid of.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yep.
So,
C, your American smile may be misrepresented as arrogance. D, Russians interpret the question of how are you and strangers asking personal questions very differently than Americans. E, America is the most individualistic nation in the world, whereas Russia has no word for privacy. Chapter 2, Russians and Americans. A, Westerners and Slavophiles. See, there it is.
there it is, Nitish. We got you covered,
Yeah.
man. That's
Alright.
your section, man.
All right.
You write 20 pages on the history of Slavophiles in that
Alright.
And then boil it
And
down
you
to
can
one.
Yeah, you can reduce it to one.
And then remember, you're talking about Americans.
Okay.
2 Americans.
Yeah. So,
You're talking 2 Americans, yes.
to America, yes.
Chapter 3, social etiquette and expectations, culture and character. The Russian soul, collectivism, pessimism. A pessimist is an informed optimist. Russians lie, which is the part that I rewrote. 1, verification, trust by verify. And then you have the Alan Akamba section, and then something else there. Friends, the key to getting anything done in Russia, the importance of equality, caution, and conservationism. Russian extremes.
Conservatism.
Conservatism. Yeah, conservatism. Russian extremes and contradictions. And then we have big is beautiful. Russian superiority complex, messianism. Russians rebellious spirit. This is the part we were looking at earlier. Alcoholism, Russia's scourge. Nagging, time and patience, communication differences. There are communication differences of A, language, different shades of meaning. B, Russians are long-winded. C, intimate
so is
touch
this
between
book.
friends.
And so is this book.
D, Americans' infatuation with mental health. Yeah, before you're talking about keeping it down to 70 pages.
Yeah.
We're only.
I don't see that happening.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Right. Chapter 4, visiting a Russian's home. Visiting a Russian's home, the toast. And then we have a chapter in sex and dating, marrying and divorcing a Russian. Why do Russians cheat on their spouses so much? Women, the stronger sex. Living with a Russian home life at home. Russians in business, Muscovites versus real Russians. What makes Russians tick? Muscovites versus real Russians. Soviet mentality and Russian leadership today in the city. And then we have further differences between Americans and Russians in conclusion.
And then we have a further reading, and keep going. We have this.
Oh, yes.
That's important.
Conclusion. Further reading and links, index, footnotes, bibliography, and about the authors.
And the most important part, about the authors. That's where you get to write 5 pages about yourself.
See, like right now, I'm just Mr. Nitish. Hopefully by August, I'll be Dr. Nitish.
There you go.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. Actually, I'm still waiting for Viva of PhD. I've submitted my PhD, and hopefully in a month or 2, I will have my Viva. Then I can be officially doctor.
And then you're going to write in your biography, you like long walks on the beach and puppies.
Okay, so stop sharing. I just took over.
Okay.
Alan's got an interesting palm print too.
Okay.
Alan, you're gonna live long and have many wives.
Yes, sir.
Now we
I'm
can
sorry,
see his
man.
hand.
Oh, it's just on there.
What did he say?
I'm following. I'm all ears.
Yeah, but all we can see is your palm.
Man, I can't see myself. I don't know what setting you've done there.
It's not my fault.
So
Yeah, we just have a.
I hope
it's the person. It's the person who holds the account who designs the setting.
Alan, whoever smells it deals it. So, or dealt it. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So
Oh,
I
there
can
we
see
go.
now. There you go. Oh, problem solved. Whose fault was it, Alan? So, okay, cool. All right. Well, Dr. Nitish, we spent like an hour and a half. We could continue, guys. I love this. But I'm respectful of you guys' time. So, if you guys,
I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Everybody's out and about in my house, and please take a look at that part that I rewrote when you have a moment, and just
Yes.
decide what you want to do with it. I didn't want to just because I did so many changes. I didn't want to put it into the document itself. That's why I did it separate, so you can think about it and decide whether you want to replace the section or not.
How do you say no in Russian?
Yet.
Молодец.
Quick question, can I?
Okay, Alan, go ahead.
Quick question.
Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear you.
Yes, Alan.
We're
Alan.
waiting.
Edge of our seats.
Yeah, I heard Justin saying the cheating part. Are you the one handling cheating?
No, I'm
You
not
are.
handling.
What did you say? What did you say, Belleville? What did you say? What are you handling?
you guys are the cheating experts.
Thank you.
I was talking to my buddy. I was talking to my buddy here the other day, and he actually incidentally just talked about it. And these guys that go to Siberia on rotation for oil and gas.
Oh yes.
Yeah, basically gone for half of their lifetime. And he talked
Right.
about this cheating thing. I was thinking maybe I can interview him a little bit and put that into the book.
That's brilliant. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Nitish, what do you think, man? Are you on board, doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. You had to comment, please.
Yeah, actually on that thing I wanted to say about cheating thing. I think this is probably second most popular film in Russia. Maybe you can just give the link of it. The name of the movie is Operacja U.
Can you text it? Can you text it?
Yeah, text it, please.
Yeah, right now.
No, later on, not right now. We need to.
Okay,
we need to
Alan,
wrap
maybe
up.
you have seen that movie, Operacja. Okay.
Can you
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
can you send it on WhatsApp to Travis? Because once we are out of
Yeah.
this
Okay.
meeting,
I'll send it.
yeah, WhatsApp is better.
Yeah. What's
Okay.
up?
I'll send it later.
Yeah.
Okay, but just a little comment like that movie is about how to cheat.
Yes,
Really?
please. How to cheat? Wow.
That would
sounds
be great.
interesting.
Well, see, I don't know if you've done any books or anything, or
Am I frozen?
kind of books that I like, Nitish, or they're books that have
can't.
like, go ahead, Nitish. Sorry. They have like little sections.
Yeah, actually, I've said that this movie is the movie is about how to cheat in Russia, how to cheat in exams. Not actually exam. It's college exams. Yeah, it's about how to cheat in college exam during Soviet era.
Oh, okay. So that
And it's a comedy. See, actually, the people do not find it offensive; they find it funny.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, but this one, the part that I was reading though about why Russians cheat wasn't really about wasn't really about the university like we were talking before. It was about relationships.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to say about the nature of them, how they accept cheating. They don't think this is such a big thing. It can be a thing of like it can be a thing of humor.
All right, gentlemen.
Like for you Americans,
Okay,
cheating
gentlemen.
is such a big thing.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Bye bye, Alan.
Sounds
Have
good.
a great
So
story. I gotta get going.
yeah, Nitish. Just okay. Sounds good, Alan. Bye bye. Yeah. So So if you want to text that, I was mentioning like what I do is a lot of times with the books that I haven't done this with the book, but I have this model in my mind, is that you have boxes. And so like you'd have this like gray box that would just explain the movie. Like if you
Okay.
really want to understand, where did Belleville go?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. So anyway, so what did you think? It's just you and me.
Wait a
Do
minute.
you want to continue to do this?
Right now, maybe we
No,
can
no,
do
I
it.
mean, like, do you want to be a part of the book?
Obviously, it's very interesting.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to text me that, like if you in the WhatsApp group, and then
Yeah. Name of that movie, right?
yeah, we could add it, and then we could definitely add you as an author. So
Yeah. And you can see this. This is very easy movie. Even you can watch it later. It's I think of 30 minutes,
okay,
and it's a very
30
popular
minutes
movie.
only. It's only 30 minutes.
See, actually, movie has three part, three
Mm.
different novella, and
Mm.
one novella is about actually the I don't remember the name of that particular part, but it's all about cheating.
Okay, sounds good. All right, sounds good. So yeah, we're gonna meet next Sunday.
All right.
I
At
kind
what
of
time?
I kind of
At
like
what
to
time?
do I kind of like to do like in the middle of the week too, but we can definitely talk about that in WhatsApp. It'll be the same time every week. So yeah.
7. I don't know actually because we have different time.
Uh,
I don't remember what was the time. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll see on. I think it's written in group.
yeah, it was an hour and a half ago. So 8
Okay.
p.m. Moscow time. So I have a lesson with Irina at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow morning, and so she hasn't told me anything about the picnic. And so would 11 a.m. be okay? Like maybe let's say 11:30 a.m.
See, Arena has written that she won't class at 11 o'clock in group. She has written.
Oh, for everybody.
Yeah, for everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
So,
We can start from Tuesday.
no. I want to start ASAP. I really do because I need to learn
Okay.
Russian. So, depending on your schedule, I know you're not working because of coronavirus. I definitely want to do it tomorrow. It's just I need to figure out Irina's schedule. She said that she wanted to go to the park, but now she hasn't responded to me, so I don't know. So
But
maybe
she
later.
has. Yes, she has messaged that tomorrow's class is from 11 o'clock.
Okay. So what we can do is we could do 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then 11 a.m. I'll have a 10 a.m. class with Irina alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have an 11 a.m. class with the group, and then tomorrow afternoon it'd be great if we do one-on-one.
Okay, all right. So have you seen the book? Have you seen that book that I've sent to you?
Not yet. I saw it. I just got back from Ultimate Frisbee.
Okay.
It's so brilliant. I could send you a couple pictures. Oh, I wish you were here. Oh, it's so much.
So you play with Russian guys? I mean,
oh yeah, they're all Russians. Like,
oh,
yeah.
Great.
So, yeah. So, yeah, my relationship with Russians is like my relationship with Americans. It's love. Well, I should say my relationship with Muscovites is like my relationship with Americans. It's love hate.
It's like love hate.
Yeah, love hate. Depending on the minute here in Russia. So.
Now I understand why you love Leningrad so much.
You mean
Group Leningrad?
Isn't it funny? Yeah.
Yeah, actually no. Actually now I understand why you love Grupa, because see, this Leningrad has the same thing. They have love-hate relationship with Russia and Moscow.
Yeah.
That's why you see both things. Sometimes they do love this, sometimes they hate. And I can suggest to even other groups, they talk about Russian culture and they make parody, they make fun of Russia. There's a group.
That. Yeah.
There's a group, Little Big.
Okay.
LTL.
So
Big.
if you want to write, if you want to look at that section, I sent you the link, and if you want to look at it and add to it, the history, I can let me post it really quickly here. And then if you even want to create like I could do it too. It's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. But I'll create a small blurb about the movie and add it to the book.
Yeah, in case, because this is very popular. You ask any Russian, he'll talk about this movie.
I have a brilliant book. It's called, I can't remember what it's called. It's like Natasha's something or another. But no. It's another book. I have another book, and it's about 200 pages, and it talks about all of the popular things in Russia, like all the movies, all the popular media, and it's brilliant. So I can share that with you too. So, okay, cool. All right.
All right. Okay. There's
Oh,
one more thing I want to add. I don't know. Is it interesting to Americans or not?
Yeah.
About the pop culture, especially among school students. Do you know what is Goti?
No.
Punk. Do you know punk culture?
Yeah. No.
Punk. Punk.
No.
Not interested, right? Because I actually had some meeting with those punk guys, and
Yeah. We could definitely put it in a box. Remember, this is the first edition. Okay. Like my idea here is to make this is only the first edition, so it'll continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, so the first edition we could add like a blurb, which is basically like a small box, and then just add and add and add and add. So
all right.
yeah. Okay, great, Nitish. I'm so glad I met you. Like I said, my only regret is that we don't
I'm not in Moscow.
is you're not in Moscow. So okay. All right. So send me the link to that movie. So bye-bye.
All right. Yeah. Bye bye.
Okay, bye-bye.